Welcome back to Can You Ask That? I am your host, Landon Ashworth. Today I have a very special guest that doesn't even need mentioned, but it would be very rude not to. Between the two of us, we have combined 3 Super Bowl wins. Him with 3 with the New England Patriots, and me with 0. Welcome, Tom Ashworth.
Hey, good afternoon.
How are you, Tom?
I'm doing super.
Man,
I'd say same, but
where in the world are we?
so we're in the middle of the forest in northern New Mexico at our family ranch.
It's very nice to have you here.
It's kind of good to do it.
We're going to talk about multiple things. Boy, I know you hate this, so we'll just get it right out of the way first. Probably one of the questions that you dislike the most is, what's Tom Brady like? Tom, what's Tom Brady like?
Can you ask that? Tom is a tremendous teammate. He's a tremendous person. Obviously, it's been 20 plus years since I played with Tom, but I tell people that Tom was outstanding character and a fierce competitor. I'm talking fierce. And he practiced it. He practiced being a fierce competitor, and by everything that he brought made everybody around him better. That's what great leaders do. I mean, he was a great leader, and he made me better. There's no question that I became a better player playing with him. And he was fun to play with. We'd joke around. We'd play backgammon. We'd go play golf. And obviously, I mean, his history speaks for itself. But I do tell people, people are always wondering about that, right? And it was like superstars, they don't know. I love playing with him. He was an amazing teammate. He was fun to be around. He treated people well. And, I mean, he was a great leader. He was a team guy.
And you protected him. So do you
Did my best.
do you feel like he treated his offensive linemen just a little bit sweeter?
Well, I think Tom treated everybody great. I think there is a special relationship between a quarterback and the offensive line. And quite honestly, we had a pretty unique, special team when I was there. And we were just at the building stages. I mean, Coach Belichick had just come in and was rebuilding the team. And so a lot of the players, I mean, we had some crafty, really good leadership and older veterans, and then we had a bunch of young guys. And so the young guys bonded well, and I think Tom took in the offensive lineman well. He wasn't afraid to get razzed either, and we'd do that too.
Well, let's roll back the clock. I've known you quite literally my entire life. And always looked up to you as a little kid because you were the superstar of the family. But I know from what you've shared with me, at least a little bit, that football ended up being a bit of your identity, but you didn't necessarily want it to be your only identity.
Yeah.
And the pressure that it must have been to have such a cool job that everybody wants to talk about, so much so that it's the only thing, just about, that people want to talk about. Can you speak a little bit on the subject of entering the room and everybody wanting to talk to you about the one thing that you really just could not want to talk about less?
I would say I've become good at deflection. So, and part of that was probably playing for Coach Belichick. He kind of, just let us know that, not everybody had your best interests in mind, and that the story that they wanted to tell wasn't necessarily the story you wanted to tell. But more so, going back further throughout my whole life, I just felt, yeah, I think you summed it up well. I never wanted that to be my identity. I didn't want, there goes, when I was growing up, I mean, terminology's changed over the last 40 years, but when I was growing up, it was the jocks and the nerds, right? And the stoners, and then you had these groups. Well, I never wanted to be labeled as a jock. I felt like I had more to offer, that I didn't want to be pigeonholed into this dumb. It was more of that. It was not only a jock, it was the dumb jock. Like, if you play sports, you're stupid. Well, I didn't really want to fit into that mold. I was like, and yes, I play sports, but there's a lot more to me that I want to be, that that I feel like I was created to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? That wasn't my only thing. So you learn quick. I don't know. I think you learn to deflect and change the subject and find
Does
ways to talk about other things and ask people about them. And,
does
you know,
does talking about football make you uncomfortable?
there was a time where it did for sure. I would say now over the years, I'm I'm out of it, and I coached high school for a long time, and I'm okay with my story and where I came from and what it became, and I'm proud of that. I mean, sometimes you're like, well, yeah, it was great, it's great, but I don't want that to define me. I didn't want to, when I left football to be that was. Wait a minute, I've got in my mind, I've got
Life.
70. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's a little push. 50. Let's say 50 years if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
50 years left in my life to live, and I didn't want to be a has-been and my life to be defined by something that really was just a short time in my life. And I love the lessons I learned from football, and I love my teammates, and I love to be able to compete and to be on the stages I was on. It was incredible, but man,
So let's talk about we don't have to just talk about football, but let's talk about football a little bit more.
sure.
So in high school,
Yep.
you went to Cherry Creek.
Yep.
Uh big school, and you guys won state, and were a lot of the people on your senior that were playing as seniors, did a lot of them go D1?
Yeah, we did. We had, which was actually, I mean, my school in
Squirrel.
Squirrel in South Denver at that time was a really powerful school, but we hadn't had a ton of Division I sports. I mean, you could name most of the guys from the last 15 years before that went D1. Well, all of a sudden, we really hit the pinnacle of that era, and I think we had like 9 guys from my offense, the
Ooh.
offense I was on, go D1 to play football.
Wow.
So, and I don't think there was any on the defense. For some reason, they put all the maybe that's not true. There were a couple on the defense. So, anyways,
and then you end up going to CU Boulder, and then you're captain of the football team your senior year. At what point, if ever, did the thing that you were really good at stop being fun, if ever? Like, at what point?
yeah,
I remember once growing up that you're like, dude, this is like, it's not fun anymore. It's a job.
yeah.
When did that start?
You know, it's interesting. There was kind of a cycle to it. It ebbed and flowed, but I learned I had a dream, I really wanted to play college football. I wanted to play big time college football. I wanted to get a scholarship.
And when did that dream start?
That
How old were
started
you?
when I was in really it became real to me when I was in freshman in high school. I
Okay.
think as a little kid I was a big Michigan fan. I was like, man, I'd like to go play. But it didn't become real until I was a freshman in high school, and then it was like, okay, how am I going to get there?
Mm.
But when I went to college, I learned real quick that Division I football is a business.
Mm.
And at that time, it's changed so much, but players are getting paid now, and so that's a whole new realm. But at that time, it was the head coaches were the ones making the money,
Okay.
and they could leave, and they could, the players couldn't transfer; they'd lose eligibility, and it was a real problem. But the coaches could jump ship and go to greener pastures, and nobody lost but the players, because all of a sudden now, the new coach comes in, the recruiting's not as good. You got to, there's a whole gamut of things. Anyways, so I learned quick that was, it was a business, man. And that's when it kind of, I was like, I really thought in my mind growing up that college football was the pinnacle of the team game.
Interesting.
That the pro game, you're getting paid for it, blah blah blah. It's not. It's the college where it's the pinnacle. You're playing in big stadiums. You're playing for national championship, all that. Well, I learned pretty quick that was a mess, and that kind of broke my heart a little bit. And then
A mess how?
because I had a perception. I think a lot of people do this in their lives. They get dreams.
Yeah.
They get ideas in their heads, and they formulate what their expectations are for that, right?
Yeah.
And so my expectation was that I was going to be on an amazing team with everybody had the same goal in mind. The coaches were on board. It was all about the team. We were going to find a way, because in my mind, football is it's a team sport, right? It's the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't the case in college. So getting back to your question, it became a job. I still enjoyed my teammates. I made some of my best friends in the world up in Boulder. I got to play in some good teams and some great venues that were spectacular. So I don't want to paint a picture that was horrible, but it definitely was. And then you throw injuries into that, which, man, I've had 5 surgeries. And so
what are the 5?
I've had knee surgery, hip surgery, shoulder surgery, and 2 back surgeries. So you throw that into the mix, and football's hard enough at that level when you're healthy. To throw it in when you're hurt, man, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But there were also other seasons of that when I got to New England. It was such an amazing time because, quite honestly, that team was all about all the things. I thought that picture, that time had passed for being in the pure football state where everybody, it's all about the team or whatever. Well, then you get to New England, and Coach Belichick preaches all this stuff, and I think people want to believe that it was, that's just the league. That's what people say. Oh, it's all about the team, and no one's bigger than the team. Well, that team really believed it. It was amazing.
Which one?
In New England.
Okay,
those first, when we were winning those Super Bowls, those guys, and it started with the leadership, the captains of the team, Willie McGinnis, Ted Johnson, Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law, the list goes on and on. Mike Vrabel, all the leaders, the guys that were established, they set the tone for that. And and then they all bought in. And because of that, man, it really was. It was like, we're a team. And it was, so I feel like I got to live that experience that I had dreamed about. And it wasn't where I expected it to happen.
So did you get disenfranchised in college when you had worked so hard for this thing, and then you got there? Did you get a little deflated that it wasn't the expectation in your mind?
I'm sorry, the college?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it happened fast. It was within like a week of being there.
Oh, wow.
It was like my eyes were open, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not what I thought this was about.
Oh, man. Did you want to quit?
I wouldn't say I wanted to quit. I wanted things to change, for sure. I wanted things to change.
So let's talk a little bit about Dick and Olga, mom and dad.
Okay.
Growing up, were you raised with the mentality of you can do anything that you set your mind to? If you said, I want to be in the NFL, did your parents say, then you will be in the NFL? What was your upbringing like at home?
Man,
was it different between your mom and dad?
Yeah, no, I think my parents were on board with helping us to get where we wanted to go. I don't know if they would say you can do anything. I came from with my family's background, obviously you're part of that, but my mom's side too, it was very hardworking, man. I came from, my mom's family, they immigrated to America from Europe after World War II and dealt with a lot over there and came here with nothing. They had nothing. And our dad's family was the same thing, though, as far as it was a hardworking family. So I never grew up thinking you could do whatever. I figured if I was taught, and things were lean at my house, is like, if you want something, you got to go earn it.
Yeah.
You got to go for it.
It's out there in the dirt.
You got to go it now. But they also helped me to realize, hey, man, we're all given talents and gifts and abilities, right? For a while in my life, I wanted to be a jockey, right? Growing up with horses, it was like, man, I want to get on a horse and go freaking ride
horses. Clydesdale jockey.
But yeah, right. It's 6'6", it wasn't going to be a jockey. And so at an early age, I think it was one of the I'm pretty proud of is at an early age at 14, kind of looked at my life and my talents and my abilities, and I said, okay, I want to change my circumstance. How am I going to do that?
Mm.
And for me, football was a great option. It was a great option, and it matched with my, like I said, not only my physical size, but also mixed with my my intellect and my emotions and my like the physicality of it. So there was a lot of things that matched for me, and like baseball did not match for me.
Mm.
I played baseball, but it just there were a lot of things that just I it just it didn't go, but football did. So um as far as the dreaming thing, playing pro football was never really that was like a in the distance. Really my dream was to play college football so I could get a college degree and pay for it
Right.
and play in some pretty cool stadiums. Past that, I mean that was the NFL thing was just a result of those other things taking care of themselves.
So in entertainment, a lot of success is derived from luck
Yeah.
and connections. But you also have to be prepared when you finally have the connections.
Yeah. Right.
But in your line of work or your earlier line of work, do you know of anyone that had talent, worked their absolute ass off and still never made it? Or
Yeah.
was the avenue there if you were a really good player, that's all they cared about?
No, I think there are plenty of guys that the opportunities didn't meet the circumstance or their ability didn't meet the opportunity, really.
Like, did you ever
Um,
play anybody in college that you're like, God, that guy smoked me the entire game and then he never went pro?
Most of those guys made it. I
Yeah.
got to be honest with you. I don't recall a guy from those days and going, or all the guys I was like, dang, that guy was amazing. They all made it.
Yeah.
They all went on.
Yeah.
But I will say there's a ton of guys that had tons of talent that never made it, mostly because of injury. A lot of guys, some of the best players I ever played with in college were they never got that opportunity to move on. It wasn't because they weren't good enough, it was because they got hurt and their careers ended. And that happens a lot.
Yeah. When you're playing in college, do teachers give you free passing grades? Like,
Yeah.
what's that
Can
world
you
like
ask that?
when you're a stud on a college campus playing football? Do you as a player
Yeah.
get so much leeway? Can you get away with
Yeah.
murder?
I think this leads back to your question before about who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be. I never wanted that stigma on me
Yeah.
to be that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taking the BS classes and whatever. That wasn't what I was doing and who I wanted to be known as.
Right.
So for me, I was in the business school and I was in my mind I took a couple actually this is funny. The couple joke classes that people are like, "Oh, that you should take that class cuz it's an easy A, like intro to jazz and
That's a great class.
astronomy or whatever." Some of these
Watch it.
I ended up yeah, exactly. I ended up getting D's in those classes because I just didn't care.
Wow.
And so they were supposed to be easy A's, but I had no knowledge. So I did way better in the classes that were harder that I had an interest in. And I tell my kids that now. I'm like, please don't take those classes that everybody tells you, oh, it's an easy A, blah, blah. Don't do it.
Take the ones
Go
you are
find the
interested in.
classes you think you're interested in.
Yep.
It'll serve you way better than,
All right, so let's pivot. Could you have
Yeah,
slacked off
fair.
all of college
No,
and
I don't think so. In my experience, no. I think there's ways you can get around it, get some tutoring and some people that will help you more than probably they should.
like if you're the quarterback
Yeah.
of a
I'm
D1?
sure there's tutors and people in the they have academic support staff that are there to help guys that need the help,
Yeah.
and they're there to help you succeed.
Yeah.
And so I didn't live in that world because I didn't need it.
Were there any like swag rooms that you could walk in as a football player where you could take as many cleats and gloves and elbow pads as you
No.
wanted?
No, that didn't happen. there, the recruit. That's funny. This is stuff that I hadn't thought about in a long time, but I think there was a lot of recruiting regulations where they had to be. You had to be very careful about all that stuff because regulators were on top of things like that. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I mean, I would get gloves and shoes and stuff that I needed,
As
like
much as you wanted?
for practice. I remember getting a pair of gloves a week, maybe.
Wow. Would you go through a pair of gloves a week?
Maybe that's wrong. Well, I mean, we'd go through those gloves, man.
Yeah.
We were pretty rough on them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little much, but I don't remember being extreme. Like I got what I needed, and
All right, so what about when you get into the NFL and you're playing for the Patriots and Seahawks and stuff like that? Do they have swag rooms in those?
it depends who who's in charge of that room.
Okay.
So EK in Seattle was he was great, man. Eric Kennedy, he was amazing. So he always made sure his players were taken care of.
And what
the
is
guys
that?
in New England were a little tighter and I don't know if this came from the head down or if he had like a budget. I have no idea how that worked. I just know that there are some teams that are tighter than others.
So let's talk, since the swag room at the Seahawks was pretty dope and quite generous. You go in there with a large, call it a comedically oversized duffel bag,
Yeah.
ready to fill it up. Can you get Christmas presents and shoes?
So,
And
I never went that route. I never did that. Here's the other thing you understand is most pro players have
sponsorships, right?
through providers. So I was with Nike. There's Reebok guys, Adidas guys, whatever. And so you have a stipend or whatever they call it with that provider. So I mean, you can get a bunch of stuff.
Give me an example of a stipend.
Well,
Like,
each
what was
player
your Nike
gets
stipend?
thousands. It depends on where you are and how many years, whatever.
Sure.
When I was starting off, it was a couple $1,000s a year as a rookie, no-name free agent.
Right.
And as you go, you get, as you one up or whatever. And then obviously you get the guys that are the big name guys and they get massive deals. But I was an offensive lineman, and so we get, a few $1,000 worth of goodies. And I used to get golf, go buy golf clubs and
oh, cool.
things like
so you just had like a sign in for a Nike website thing,
Yeah.
and you had a budget, and you could just blow it on whatever you wanted.
Right. And we spent that. My wife Julie spent a lot of that on tennis shoes for our young kids. So
Okay.
got
And then
a bunch of shoes for
by the time that your playing career was, you were well established, you had won a Super Bowl or two. Did those numbers get real big, or did they always stay around?
No, I don't. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was not something that was world changing by
Mhm.
any means. It was, this is fun.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Nike store and let's go buy stuff and get our family some gifts and whatnot. Yeah.
You play in a bowl game. What's it like playing in a bowl game compared to a Super Bowl?
Well, the stakes are much. I mean, the bowl games I played in were kind of mid-tier bowl games. They weren't for a national championship or a BCS. They were just kind of run-of-the-mill bowl games. So they were a lot of fun, man. You do get swag for those, which is fun. So we used to get a swag bag.
What was
that
in
was
those?
a big deal. I don't know, PlayStations and leather jackets, and I mean, it was every year was something different. That was fun.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's pretty sweet. Is there swag for Super Bowls?
Yeah, I think they're, if I remember right. I mean, most of it was like Super Bowl affiliated clothing and different things like that. I don't remember anything off the chain.
So your first Super Bowl, you were playing for the practice squad of the Patriots, right?
That's right.
And do you have anything to commemorate that Super Bowl?
I do.
What do you have? What did they give you for the W?
We got there. That's funny. I got these. I told you they usually sit in a box, in a safe, but they come out on certain occasions. So this was.
Look at that.
You can see that. This is a Super Bowl ring from 2001. My hands are filthy. Sorry, we're up in the mountains hunting. So
may I?
Yeah. Here you go. Ready?
It's if you can see this at home, that's the Super Bowl ring. 2001, Ashworth, and then the Super Bowl for the Patriots. So you win the Super Bowl,
Yep.
and then you go to the full roster.
Yeah.
How much does life change going from practice squad to full roster?
Yeah, life. It changes a little bit. One, when you're in practice squad, it was week to week. So as much as at one point, I remember at one point in October, I had been there since week 1. I was like, oh man, I think I'm going to be here on the practice squad the rest of the year. And that week, somebody got hurt. They needed to fill a roster spot, bring somebody up, whatever. I got cut. And so I drove, and my folks had just brought out my truck, my old pickup truck, all the way from Colorado, and I ended up driving home.
Oh, was that the worst drive ever? Were you embarrassed? Like what feelings go through?
I was going, what's going on? But this was right after 9/11, and I remember I didn't get very far. I'm coming home in Pennsylvania, and my agent calls, and he's like, okay, so we've got teams calling Miami, the Jets, Denver's interested. So you're going to have some workouts. What do you think? And we just kind of went through it. And I was actually, at one point, I think I was going to go to Miami to be on their practice squad. And the night before I was going to get on a plane to go to Miami, the Patriots called back and said, hey, we want you back. And so
what was did you ever do you ever ask like, hey, you released me and now you want me back? Why?
No, well, I did ask those questions. I asked, do I fit? Do you want, like I asked my offensive line coach, do I fit in the type of scheme and the type of organization that you guys are trying to create?
Yeah.
Because
you wanted to serve a purpose.
Yeah, I wanted to serve a purpose, but I also wanted to know that there was an opportunity for me to fit later on and make the team.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You wanted playing time. You wanted to play.
I want to know that they see me as a guy that this is the kind of guy that would fit into the program we're trying to build.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were, later on, anyways, so those were the questions I was asking. So when they call back, I go, well, here's my opportunity. I can go to Miami and start over where I know nobody. I don't know what to expect. I don't know the culture. I don't know anything. Or I can go back to New England where I know the offensive line coach. I know the guys in the room. I know the opportunity that's there.
Yeah.
And to me, and so I chose to go back to New England.
And I don't know if you can ask this, but what were you making a week as a practice squad member?
I think we made about $5,000 a week. So $5,000 a week was great. I mean, you think about it coming out of college, $5,000 a week, you got to remember that's just for the in season.
Right.
So with the playoffs and you get paid that through the season, I think
rabbit. There's a rabbit.
There you go.
Sorry.
We're in the woods.
You were saying.
Well, I think it made maybe $80,000.
Okay. And then you go up to the full-time roster.
Yep.
Or did you want to finish your story? Sorry.
Where were we going? I got distracted by a squirrel.
Yeah, no,
rabbit.
It was a rabbit. The question was you move and you asked, do I fit into to this family, and is there an avenue forward to make the full team?
Yeah.
And then they said yes, or
my
none
coach,
of your gosh damn business. No, you come and you put in the work.
Well, the coach and Coach Belichick and Dante Scarnecchia, who's our offensive line coach, and Scott Pioli, who was the player personnel, had made it. They made it clear to me, like, hey man, we have to make a change. Things aren't working out right now. You don't know what the future is going to hold. This is when they're releasing me.
Yeah,
but you fit into what we're trying to do here, and so they
do they do that in an email, or do they bring you into an office?
Person. Yeah, they brought me.
And Belichick's in there to release you.
Yeah, they let me know what was going on.
Yeah,
and what was happening.
And then 15 minutes later, they're like, "Hey, we were just
it was about
with you. Come on back here,
it was
sucker.
A week and a half, maybe.
Yeah,
I got a nice vacation out of it. So
okay,
I got to go see my fiance, and
so then
at the time my wife Julie. So
did you ever have any one-on-one meetings with Belichick where he's like, "Come in here, Ashworth," and it's just you two in a room? Or would that be with your O-line coach?
Yeah, I may have had one or two like that with Bill. I don't remember a lot of them.
Unimportant.
Yeah.
So let's go to you play the full season as a practice squad member, right?
Mm-hmm.
Win the Super Bowl that year. What's it like the very next year? You active roster from the beginning of the season?
No, man, I had to make the team. So I signed at the end of the year. I signed a contract with them. But if you don't make the team, you don't make any money.
Right.
So I signed a contract, and now I'm in training camp trying to make a team, and just got married, and things got real fast.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I'm married. I've got a family now. I've got to support, and if I don't make this team, we don't have health insurance. I don't have a job.
Oh, so practice squad members don't have health insurance.
Well, at that time, it was very rare for the teams to keep a second-year player as a practice squad player.
Oh, you're rotating
typically, it was the rookies that they kept. There was a developmental thing. We were going to develop you for a year, and then you need to make the team second year. If not, we're going to find somebody else.
Yeah.
That's how it was back then.
So. In the off season, from practice squad member to the second year, did you just work your ass off all break?
Well, I would say, yeah. I remember being challenged though and in my rookie year, I was definitely challenged by our strength coach to be like, dude, you need to. And I was fighting through injuries. It was constantly like
your shoulder from college.
My knees were killing me. Luckily, I got those straightened out, and so I was starting to feel better.
Yeah.
And and then I got in the weight room and had a lot of support there with Mike Wojcik, and he was a strength coach, and kind of got it going. Yeah, I was a tight end through most of college, and so it wasn't until my senior year I played tackle, and so I was still undersized. So for me, I had to get a lot stronger, a lot bigger to make it.
And then what was it? How do they tell you that you made the team? Because you see those videos on the internet of
my gosh,
of a college player.
It was more of they don't tell you. If I remember right, like Julie and I were in our little townhome, like just waiting for the phone to ring.
Oh, and you knew it was going to happen that day?
That day, we knew it's final cut day. They had till 3:00 or something to cut you.
Oh.
And so it was one of these days where you're just kind of sitting there watching the phone. Like, is that thing going to blow up?
Awful.
It's horrible.
Awful.
That phone call didn't come. And so I think for a while there, I was like, I wonder did they make a mistake?
Surely I can't be this good.
Surely this didn't happen. And the phone call never came. I made the team, and quite honestly, even that second year, I didn't play a whole lot. It was mostly another developmental year because NFL rosters, a lot of people don't know this, they can only suit, I think, 45 guys on game day, but they have 54 guys on a roster. So every week, 9 players don't play.
Right.
And so I was one of those 9 guys. I think there's only a couple games that I actually suited and played it. That they use as developmental time.
And
so
how did your team do that year?
We did okay. I don't think we made the playoffs that year. Actually, I think we went 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
And then the next year,
you're
full on.
Next year, I'm competing for a starting position. I didn't earn it right away. I was competing with another player in preseason, and
you remember his name?
Uh-huh.
What was his name?
Well, there were several. I don't think you can ask that.
Okay. I just did. Can you answer it is the question.
Well, there were several players that I was competing against.
Yeah. But you won it, and now you're full roster.
Yeah, so by week 3, I'm
And what'd you make that second year? Sorry.
League minimum.
And what was that at the time?
I think it was $225 maybe.
Okay. So
pretty good money, yeah.
Comfortable money. Yeah. But it may be the only $225 you ever make.
100%.
So then you get in the next year. League minimum again?
Yes. And it goes up. So league minimum was tiered. So first year, second year, it goes up a little bit in increments for those first couple of years.
So third year or whatever, you're making like $250, $300, something like that.
In there, yeah.
And are you doing anything with your money, or are you just like this, mate, like just squirreling it away?
Yeah, it's squirreling it away, man. Yeah. It's like, exactly.
We were raised fiscally conservative.
This could be over at any moment.
And how'd the team do the third year?
The third year, we did great. We had a ton of, people don't remember this, we had a ton of injuries, I think, but we won the Super Bowl.
And do you have any did they give you anything for winning
yeah,
that
let
one?
me check.
Oh, did
Let
you
me
have a
check.
box full of
Let me
goodies
check.
there?
Let me check. I think it's in here somewhere underneath the pine cones. Not that one.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll get there, but
That
quickly.
was this one.
Oh my goodness
There you
gracious.
go.
May I?
Yeah, you may.
Oh God.
Take it easy, Greg.
It's
Landon.
just so girthy. Okay, so this is the second Super Bowl ring that he now has. There's the Super Bowl ring. I don't know if it's focusing on me. What's the camera look like? Can you see it?
Yeah, sure.
Is it focusing on it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. So there it is. Ashworth 68. And now you're playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'll just keep this on.
There you go.
So now you're playing. I think it's only going to fit on my thumb. Doesn't even fit on my thumb. So now this is mine now. So what do you do the morning of the Super Bowl?
Boy, that's a good question. You try to keep your routine as consistent as you possibly can. So you try to eat the same things, sleep the same amount. You know, the coaches try to get you in and out of bed because the game's not till later in the day. Have your meetings. You're in the hotel. You try to limit the distractions.
Yeah.
But
I remember going to one of your Super Bowls in Jacksonville, and they had family time, right? A big open thing. So do you feel that was a bad choice? Do you think that they should have separated the players from their family? Or do you feel like that's one of those things when the pressure is so high, you need some sort of release and like just be around the people that love you and bring it back to neutral and, you know, like Belichick's famous saying, just do your job. Is it like that?
Job. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they put up some guardrails, but I mean, at the end, I mean, the guys want to succeed, right? And so, and they're professionals. I mean, they're grown men. Most of those guys are, you know, they're expected to be able to handle themselves in a way that's well. So
was there a bit of grab ass though? Like when you had away games?
I'm sure. Oh yeah. I'm sure. Well, in the Super Bowl, you're down there for a week, so you get several nights off where you get to go out and be on the town and go to dinner and hang out. So
yeah.
Night before game is a little different. They kind of reel you in a little bit.
I know that I feel inappropriate.
Oh, all right.
Holding this. Do you have any stories or know of any stories of somebody being a little stupid on like an away game where they like went to a strip club and like were late for the game? Like, or are they professionals at that point and it's like, this isn't no hobby?
There's a couple of offshoots where you hear stories like that where there was guys that,
made some bad decisions.
Didn't make great decisions. Yeah.
And then what's the punishment for that?
Well, it depends. I mean, some guys got sent home. I remember there was a guy or two that they got sent home, man. They didn't, I mean,
shit.
Where the line draws on who gets sent home and who doesn't.
Yeah.
That was above my pay grade. But
if Tom Brady rolled in late, he probably would have gotten a little bit of a hall pass.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what the difference would have been. But I'm glad that never happened.
So what was the Super Bowl where Adam Vinatieri won it with that field goal?
He did that multiple times.
Oh, okay.
The first year he did it against the Rams.
Yeah.
The second year he did it against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then the third one, Eagles. I don't think he had any game walk-offs on that one, but the first two for sure, yeah.
And when you win the Super Bowl, are you excited? Like,
I would think so.
Or is it just a game? Like, or do you desperately care about winning?
No,
then. Because I know you care about playing. I know you care about doing your job.
I mean, that's the ultimate prize, man, to win the championship. I mean, yeah, you care a lot.
But the interesting thing is growing up with you is you never talked about that.
Yeah.
You never talked about like a winning mental attitude and like winning is everything and I am going to be a champion.
Yeah.
You know, all you cared about was not embarrassing yourself. And I know that's a bit gauche to say, but I think that do you feel, let me ask the question, do you feel that the people that are so wholly concentrated on the end goal miss the forest for the trees, no pun intended, and the people that do the best are just there to work their asses off, and the results are the results that you get from working
Man,
your
I
ass
think
off?
everybody's got their own story on how that's written. I think for me, I came from a background. There was humility, and the community I grew up in and my family, that was a big deal, and high standards. You know, I was fortunate enough to be in a lot of winning teams growing up. So, but I don't know. I think there's guys, they handle themselves with some dignity and, just some composure. I don't know.
Wrap things up, just a couple more
Yeah.
questions, because I know that you need to go put a hammering on an elk. When you get your first big paycheck, I mean, like big money, does life change for you at all? Do you just take a deep sigh and be like, thank God, money, I don't have to worry about that anymore?
Yeah, I would say that was probably my reaction, was a sigh of relief. Like, it's not a constant. I mean, let's be real. I mean, that's life. It's like providing, and you become and have a family, and even for yourself, if you're not. I mean, it's like you grow up, and that's like a big boy thing, is like, how am I going to provide and how am I going to be able to live? And so when that moment comes, there's definitely a, wow, this is a relief, and wow, maybe, some other possibilities are real.
Yeah. Just a few questions to wrap up, and we can answer these ones a bit quicker than the other ones. We won't have to do long dry tribes. Did trash talking ever bother you?
I had my moments.
Who's the worst trash talker you ever faced?
Does that mean they're good or they're bad?
Well, they're just shit talking.
All
just
the
like,
time?
come here, fat boy, or whatever they call it.
I don't know. I remember a few. I remember let's see, there's a guy named a linebacker that played a long time. He was a great player. London Fletcher, he talked a lot of smack. Warren Sapp had tended to run his mouth.
Did you ever run your mouth ever?
No, not in the league, because I was still, although I was a starter, man, I was playing against some studs, and I needed all my mental capacities to be able to
not get run over.
Yes, 100%. When you're playing guys that are, I mean, you just go down the list of the guys that they're just phenomenal at that level. It was like, I remember one time I was playing Michael Strahan early in my career, and he was obviously really good. And we had this one play that I was terrified he was gonna sniff it out and eat my lunch, and it was gonna be a bad deal. And it ended up he guessed wrong, and I was able to hook him or whatever, and we went around the corner and went for a big yard. I was like, yes, and he's like, slow down, buddy, like easy, like. And I like went to apologize. I'm like, buddy, I was not talking trash. I was just so thrilled that you guessed
Please
wrong.
don't hurt me.
Please don't. So
anyway. That's funny. So you can't remember ever talking smack?
No.
What's your favorite football memory in 10 words or less?
And my favorite one that comes to mind, honestly, is actually my high school state championship. I played with my best friends from growing up, and I mean, talking my buddies that were friends with me since I was 6 years old, and being with them to do that we had dreamed about, that was probably the top of the pyramid for me.
But there was one more Super Bowl that you won.
Yeah, sure.
Did they give you any sort of...
Hey, I looked down on that one too there. Look at that.
Oh, may I?
Yeah, sure.
God, it's like a 30-ton grenade. Here is Thomas Ashworth's third Super Bowl ring. Ashworth 68. Apparently you were playing the Eagles.
That's right.
Baltimore Eagles, right?
No, they're Philadelphia, but close enough, just on the highway.
Much the same thing. Yeah, your fingers are absolute garbage. It doesn't even fit on my thumb, Thomas.
There you go.
You're such a man. Okay. Third Super Bowl ring. I just wanted people to see that. Just a couple questions to finish up. Let's talk about your transition out of the NFL.
Yeah.
You have a childhood dream. You accomplish your childhood dream. You live in your childhood dream for years. Now the game's over.
Yeah.
And there's no is there a finality to it? Or is it like Uncle Rico, like, man, I could have won state if I threw that football.
There's definitely it's really hard. And I was better off. I would say I was more prepared than most of the guys. I had, in the off season, I'm in construction, so I had worked for contractors. I went back to school. At night, I got another degree. I was doing all these things because I was so terrified of that scenario. Like, you hear these stories of these guys getting out and they don't know what to do, man. And I tell people, think about this. I think you're at the peak of your profession.
Yeah.
You're 30 years old. And this is if you get a play. I mean, I played till I was 30.
Yeah.
And then you wake up one day and say, hey, you're really good at this. Not only are you good at it, you're like one of the best in the world at it, and you can't do it anymore. You're done. Go do something else. That part's hard because you're good at something, right?
Because you could have kept going.
Well, and my body, no.
I mean, if you wanted to, there was an avenue for you to keep going. I feel like you hung up the spurs.
Well, the doctors told me, hey, Tom, you might want to seriously consider.
Yeah, if you want to pick up your kids.
After my second back surgery, they kind of said, hey, man, this road's not good.
Playing on borrowed time.
Yeah. So you leave and you hope you're prepared, but man, it's a huge transition.
What was the hardest part for you?
Starting over.
Yeah.
I think when you're 30 years old, most of your peers and your friends have already done the internships. They've already started at the bottom in the professional world. They're already kind of on their way up, and then you're coming in at a different place. Going,
where you don't need to work.
Well, there's some of that too. Is like, okay, you got options. Hopefully, if you've been wise with your money, that you can be flexible. But for me, it was still, you still wonder about, like, okay, you're wondering about self-worth. I mean, at some point you look back and go, damn, I was really good at that. And that's gone now. And I've told myself that that's not what my worth is based on.
Right.
So what is my worth based on? And
Right.
That's when, for me, faith in my trust in God became real.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was real, but it was like, okay, you say these things, Tom, but where are you really now with
now
this?
It's being tested.
Now it's being tested as to whose am I, who created me, and whose story am I telling here? And so for me, that's a huge part of my journey since then, without question.
And I like to call you a wood artist, because the things that you make are unbelievable. And say somebody saw this and they wanted a Tom Ashworth original piece, a table, a chair, a pergola, or, whatever, what have you. Are you taking orders, Tom? Careful.
That's careful. I got to careful. Very limited. So you were talking about dreams and things. I got to be honest with you. My real dream was like, if I could play in the NFL or whatever you were talking about, then my real dream was to have my own wood shop.
And you'd had
that. And I built that a couple of years ago. And so that is huge. So that's a dream come true for sure. So now I'm in a space where I'm trying to figure that out. It's funny you say artist. Like, I can't even barely read my own handwriting.
But God, the pieces that you make are just, they'll take your breath away.
Well, I love doing it. It gives me, and it comes back again where it's like, okay, where do your talents and abilities meet your gifts? Yeah. Or where do I don't know, maybe I said that wrong, but your passions meet your abilities. And I think from a young age, I loved working with wood. I love working with my hands. I love being in shop. I was, so it's good for me, but it's still hard being a small business trying to figure out. I'm a one-man shop, and I don't have a marketing team. I don't have
I'm
an
your marketing
estimator.
team.
Yeah, you're my marketing team. So I'm learning. I'm walking that line of. I got my niece is helping me figure out a website right now. So who knows where that's going to go?
What do you think that website will be when it's
I think it's going to be. I hope it's very simple.
Uh-huh.
It's going to have a gallery of my things I do and what I can do.
If somebody wanted to find that website to reach out to you, and you're going to get 10,000 orders.
It's not there yet.
Okay.
It's yet to be determined.
Okay. What do you think the website web address will be?
I don't know, because I don't have it registered yet. I'd hate to say something and somebody goes out.
Okay.
Well,
maybe I'll sit on this episode for a couple of days till you have that website put together, or I'll just give you Tom's direct personal cell phone.
Perfect.
Tom.
And I'm a local guy. So, anyways.
Yeah, that's why they created shipping companies to finish this all off.
Yeah.
You wanted to play college football, you did it. You wanted to play in the NFL, you did it. You wanted to win Super Bowls, probably, you did it. You wanted to have a family that loves you, you did it. You wanted to have a relationship with God, you did it. You wanted to have a wood shop, you did it. It sounds like you just piss excellence. If somebody wanted to live out their dreams as you have, what do you think is the most important advice you can give somebody to get to where you're at?
Yeah. One is, you're going to, no matter what you do, you're going to face obstacles. And when you say it, it's like, we all have our stuff. And I got my own stuff. I promise you, I got my own stuff.
Yeah, DM me. I'll tell you all about it.
And a couple things that come to mind. One thing, I had a mentor, Mac Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe's dad? Yeah. And so Drew and his brother Adam. Adam was a teammate of mine with Colorado. But his dad was a teacher for a long time, and he wrote books on parenting. Great stuff. And his wife, Barbara. Anyways, he had a saying where the ideas in your head will rule your world. And I grew up in a world of negative talk. It was personal negative talk, where I was like, nothing was ever good enough.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was a huge thing for me. I would put that in my locker, the ideas in your head will rule the world. Because it was very easy, and you can ask some of my teammates, for me to get into an Eeyore state, so to speak. It was Mr. Negative, or just things were hard. Woe is me crap.
Not that it really matters.
Yeah. Another thing would be, the renewing of the mind that the Apostle Paul talks about. Like, it's a daily thing, man. Like, you wake up and I'm thankful the sun came up today and I get to try again. And it's going to take challenges. Like, you don't just wake up every day and like, you're whatever you say, pissing excellence. It's right. Like, every day's got its own challenges, right? So you take one day at a time, do what you can, surround yourself with people. And I tell my kids this: surround yourself with people that are going the direction you want to go, right? If you need to do that, and that helps. I mean, everybody needs people in their corner. Yeah. And I've got unbelievable friends and an unbelievable family. And so, but then that had to, like you said, you had to work for that too. And when I say work for that, I had to be diligent about how I spend my time and who I'm surrounded with stuff. And I've got an unbelievable wife who supports me, and I've been blessed with that. So and I'm sitting here in one of the most beautiful places in the world. And so it's hard not to have a heart of gratitude when you're sitting here.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for being an amazing person to look up to my whole childhood. And thanks for working hard and showing us that hard work matters.
Yeah.
You big freaking crybaby.
Big crybaby.
God, would you put on a Super Bowl ring and go tackle somebody, you big old crybaby?
And I think about our journey, Landon, and where our journey's been, and it's fun to see how it's progressed.
We put in the work, didn't we?
So It's pretty cool. I'm
Well,
glad to be here.
I'm thankful for you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're thankful for Tom Ashworth. If you would like an original Tom Ashworth piece of wood art, he is not taking orders. But if you show up at his house, he lives at, no, I'm just joking. We'll see you next time.